You came at my fan. But you're going to be respectful. I'm going to match energy. And not only am I going to match energy, nigga, I'm not going to tolerate any of his bullshit. He is going to be blocked again. Right? Like the fact that this dude can just be so disgusting. If he ain't going to respect me, my name's BXBeastBoy. You can call me Beast, BX, whatever you feel comfortable with. But all that other shit, yeah, like I'm not with it. But hurry up, because I got to finish this video and we got another video after this. Give me 1 second. Let me put this banner up. Let's put this up. Before you even start talking, let me explain the rules real quick for the conversation. Before you even start jibber jabbing, just let me explain the rules and then we could take turns and go back and forth. You understand that?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to keep it as cordial as possible. Right? I'm not even going to start a name calling. We could have a genuine conversation. We could actually attempt this. I'm just going to ask you to respect me and not fucking blur out my government name just because you're mad. If you want to call me something, you can address me as BX, Beast Boy, Beast, whatever pertaining to my channel name. You can even call me Garfield if that makes you more comfortable. Or sir, whatever. Whatever makes you feel comfortable. Guy, dude, bro, whatever you feel comfortable. But blurting out my government is not okay with me. And I made that clear multiple times. If you can respect that, we can have this conversation. You can ask me whatever you like. I got some questions for you, but it seems like you wanted some questions first, so I'll give you the floor if you could be respectful.
No, I'm going to let you talk first because last time you talked over me.
So you came into my stream and called in to let me talk first. All right, so let me ask you questions. Why did you call into the stream or even pop up in the stream that's not about you?
I'm sorry, say that again? Did you say moron?
I did. Whoa. Okay, I don't know if you like either really crazy, misheard me, or are you just doing that just so you can have an excuse to start being nasty? I did not say that.
No, I said say that again.
Yeah, I didn't say that at any point.
Okay, then say it again.
I'm trying to. I think it's maybe StreamYard messing up. Okay. My statement was that if this stream isn't about you, it's not me roasting you or coming at you in this stream. Why would you come in and talk crap and call in if this ain't even me coming at you? Why are you here?
Well, you upload how many videos per day? First of all, answer that.
In general, I would say probably over 10.
And how many in the last 2 weeks about me?
I would say less than 5.
Oh, there you go. Got my attention. That's why I'm here.
All right. So I made less than 5 videos out of, you said in the last week.
Even if it was one.
Oh, no, wait, sir. You said we was going to take time. You said we was going to take turns. Let's take turns. I want to be clear on what your statement was. So if I made less than 5 videos out of, let's do the math. You said about a week, right? A week's time. That's about 7 days. More than 10. So let's just say average at 12. 12 times 7. What's 12 times 7 say, Robbie?
I don't fucking know.
It's fine.
Why are you asking me?
No, I wanted to include you. You know what I mean? So it's not just a one-way conversation. I would say 84. So out of 84 videos, less than 5 was about you, and that's enough for you to call into
one is enough.
That's not about you. Okay, one is enough.
You know why?
So hold on.
How many times have I spoke about you in the last 2 years?
Sir, let's take turns, man. I'm perfectly fine with this. And yes, you haven't spoken about me out of the last 2 years for a while. In fact, we both haven't spoken about each other for a while. But this is the exact chain of events. And tell me if maybe you read it wrong or someone sent you something. I did a video that didn't even have your name in it, right? It wasn't about you in any way, shape, or form. I made some statements during the video that was correction based off of my opinion. And you reacted to that and started making long streams doing clapbacks because I made a statement. So I responded to your clapbacks and then turned that into videos. And me saying I made multiple videos is really just me making like maybe 1 or 2 and then cutting it into clips and then releasing it on my BXBeastBoy extra channel where I release clips of my live streams. But still, be that as may, I think that you were being extremely sensitive that I can't even mention your name. I didn't do a video on you at this point before you started doing videos on me recently, right? We're talking about just from us not talking about each other for a while. I just mentioned you, but I can guarantee that you've been on other live streams, maybe not even yours, mentioning me throughout the years, whether it was just shade here and there. And that's okay, say Robbie. That's perfectly fine. That's your right. The only difference is I'm not going to react in the manner that you're reacting. And also, everything that I'm doing now is just me reacting to you. I'm not just bringing you up out the blue. Someone brought your name up out the blue, and I gave my opinion, and I moved on. Your name wasn't in the title. Your name wasn't in the tags, but you've done multiple streams with my name in the title and tags since then. So I would say out of the two of us, it's you that's more eager to rekindle whatever you think this is. And honestly, it's not a beef. I don't got no problems with you.
Well, you do though.
Are you saying that
because I don't mind videos? Like, I don't, you know how many people make videos about me? It's not that. It's like, what is your, you have so much anger. Even before you instigated me, when I first found out who you were, you had made like so many videos and I wouldn't have even gave a shit. But it was your aggression. So what is your aggression behind that?
Robbie, I think that that's a misinterpretation. I also think that maybe it's because we come from, and this is me giving you leeway. So before you just notice that this is me actually doing you slight favor here and saying that maybe it's because we come from different places. You're perceiving me in a light that might be aggressive when it's just me cracking jokes and having fun. That's a possibility. Other than that, if it's not that,
no, I don't think so.
Okay, so if it's not that, then you're just crazy, right? Because I could tell you the old shade of events. The first time that I even mentioned you, and mind you, you might feel the type of way because you changed or you're not who you used to be from years ago, right? Which is perfectly fine. But I was introduced to you in a clip where you were going crazy. And
yeah, a night that I relapsed after people were tormenting me for a year, and you didn't look into that.
No, I did, and I understand. But let me get the whole point out, though. Right?
Okay.
Without me knowing much, I was able to look at that clip and say, okay, he's going through it. He might be on something right now. Your issue at the time, I don't know if it was so long ago, was that you said I was lying on you and just made it up and all this other stuff. And I was like, yo, I just gave my opinion. And then I started responding to you with the same energy you responded to me. Also, I do want to state that once you started to strike my videos, and then contact me after you strike my videos, where I come from, which I keep trying to tell you, maybe it's because we come from different places. That's a bully tactic. That's a way for you to try to shut me up. Oh yeah, let's talk after I made an attack on your channel. Now we can talk privately. When honestly, we could have talked publicly, privately. It was never an issue. Laura or even Molly Go Lightly has more of an understanding. I would say maybe Molly Go Lightly has more of an understanding of what I do is just talk about things that's current or what my supporters want to hear about and crack jokes. It's never personal, right? I think you make it personal when you react in the way that you do. And I think that it would be dishonest and you wouldn't have shown any growth if you can't admit that your reactions to some things previously weren't off the rails, bro.
Well, and I understand that. But what I would like for you to understand is you were not the first person. What you don't realize is before the first time you discovered me, I was completely like nicotine, drugs, alcohol, 2 weeks short of a year. And I had people making videos about me the entire year. And I ignored most of them. They were making fun of, because I would vlog, for the first 6 weeks of that journey, I would get up in the morning at like 6 a.m. I would jog. I would post videos because it was helping me. And like after the whole mommy ramblings thing, which by the way, I never dragged her son ever until that night that I relapsed. So the whole year it was building up and building up. And finally I was like, you know what, motherfuckers, you don't know the struggle. And I went and I bought a 12 case of beer and I got a hotel room and I just went ape shit on everybody. And so a lot of that aggression was probably just from like the people that know me know that entire year I did great. I put up with shit. I wasn't a victim, but you know, I made my journey public. So of course people were going to hate on it. And so when I discovered you, I was like, dude, I've never even met this guy. I'm going through a hard fucking time. I was disappointed in myself. And it was nobody else's fault but myself, by the way, because I can't blame that on other people for, you know, making videos and stuff. But I just snapped and I gave in. I abused myself. And it was frustrating seeing the reaction after that of like people not looking into what led up to that. And then it like, now it doesn't bug me, but my question is like, even like the other day, you're like, oh, he's on that stuff. Like, you know, cause my main problem was meth. And it's like, why do you even have to take those digs? Like, why can't we just talk?
Sorry. So say, Robbie, this is what I got to call you out on this. You acknowledged to yourself while you was reacting to my video the other day that even when I said that, I also stated directly after, I do not know this to be true. You confirmed it to be true. So if that's the case, how was it a dig if I didn't have any knowledge of it and also stated it? Well, that was just you taking it personal because you have the knowledge of it.
Right. But I mean, to me, it was a dig because I was very open back then about that being the main struggle. So I felt that this is just my feeling. You may have intended it differently, but I felt like that was like, ooh, yeah, you know, just like trying to poke. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And I'll be honest, like back when it was fresh. Well, I appreciate that. Back when it was fresh, that really used to, not just you, I'm not just saying you, but anybody that would say anything like that, it really hurt my feelings. And then of course I would snap and people would be like, oh, he's being a crybaby and whatever. And I really was being a crybaby because I made myself vulnerable by making it public and then also getting people's reactions that didn't like me or wanted to make it worse. And I did take it very personal. And it did, whether, you know, I'm a crybaby or not, that's what it was at the time. I was definitely hurt by those words.
So wait, to be clear, you are taking accountability that your reaction made it even worse when people just gave you criticism of what you put out there.
Well, in a sense, you're kind of getting what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I was very hurt at the time because before I had relapsed back then, I was really walking a thin wire near the end. I was just like, dude, like, why am I doing this? Why am I online? Which I shouldn't have been. Why am I sharing this experience with people when, you know, the majority of people were kind, but even if it was one person, two people, if you've ever struggled with any sort of addiction, it hits you like an asteroid and you're just like, and I just kept trying to go. And then finally one night I snapped and that's when you discovered me. And from there for probably 6 months after that, probably to a year, I was dealing with being angry at people for, you know, it sounds childish, but teasing me for it. And I was also angry at myself because I gave in to my problems. So it was a lot of different things.
So you are taking accountability though to your side of it, of not just me, I'm saying in general, of around that time frame of you not being okay. So then from that, can you are you willing to admit that maybe some of the criticism that people were giving you wasn't even that harsh, especially with now you knowing and speaking to me? I didn't know up until last week that you had any issue with meth or anything beyond alcohol.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that you might have taken a lot of stuff that I might have said way too harsher than what the hell it actually was. So from my perspective, it looks like you're just losing your fucking mind. And now I have no other choice but to just respond or react or roast in the best of my ability as long as it fits in guidelines. Right. Like, especially from where I come from, I'm telling you, like the way that you first approached me of striking me first and then reaching out. Where I come from, we handle that way fucking differently. Like, it's certain things that you say and do that I'm just like, I don't think he's aware. Like, you say that you might know, and I think you're just talking shit. Like when you say I live with my mom and all this other shit. Like, I haven't lived with my mom since I was 16 years old. I've been on my own since. I was homeless for a while in some group homes, but I'm pretty independent. My mom is really proud of that. In fact, I've taken my live stream on the way to go see my mom's. I try to visit her at least 3 times a week and to call her once, maybe I would say every other day, if not every day. But because of where I come from, certain things you would say, I'm taking it like, what the fuck is he talking about? I crack a few jokes and now you're willing to get this personal. Like, no one knew my government name until you started blurting it out and yelling it in response to us going back and forth on a live stream. And then, like, if you're saying like how you felt, heard about certain things recently, when I spoke about it and your response was to say it again and then tell people everyone knows when no one knew, but you was the first one to put that out. And you're well aware that you obtained this information of my government name from sending a copyright. You got this information from me from sending a copy. So from my perspective, I gave you criticism, was cracking jokes, laughing, also stated multiple times that whatever that might have been too far, like if I said meth head or he's on that stuff or anything, I also would state, I don't actually know, right? I'm just talking crap, right? For you to, in response to attack my channel or try to strike down the video, not because I was using your content, but just because you was like disagreed or you felt like I was coming at you with disrespect, that's not a proper reason to copyright somebody, as well as you took that information that you obtained from that and started making personal attacks and then went beyond that. You passed my information around to other YouTubers. And now from there, I've been harassed and attacked. Or maybe you might not take it as attack. But when people are posting my mugshot and not telling people the truth of how I was assaulted and actually won that case, but then making it seem like I'm a supervillain, and they got the information because you gave it to them. You gave them my personal information that you obtained from a copyright that I still don't think was valid. You have to understand how I feel like pretty much it's a one-sided attack here. And I'm just defending myself and literally just cracking jokes in return. You send a grenade, I send a joke. You send a shot, I send a joke.
Yeah, no, there's a lot of things to respond to there. So I'll kind of start with the beginning of what you're talking about. And I completely understand that, you know, because we all make jokes. I have a very dark sense of humor. But I think to you, I can understand now listening to you, I can understand how it could have been just, you know, you were just making commentary and trying to be funny. And I can respect that looking back and listening to what you just said. At the time,
you've heard me defend you, right? Even previously, before we're speaking now, you've heard me defend you multiple times, right?
I haven't, but I'll take you for your word on that.
I remember you doing a video where you heard me speak on, what's her name? Mommy Ramblings, and how she was a lying bitch and how she was trying to use people. So you did hear me defend you.
No, I mean, I agree. She is a lying bitch, but
the subject matter was on her saying those things and accusations towards you.
Oh, yeah.
And trying to get me to attack you.
Right. No, so and I appreciate that if you did. I don't know, but I will recognize and say I appreciate that.
Well, it was a while ago. I remember you reacted to it and was telling Molly how you did appreciate it back then. So that's why I thought you recalled it.
Well, I mean, the beginning of my, I've done a lot of videos. The beginning of my second sobriety journey was, it was a lot of apologizing. It was a lot of blur stuff. And then I started doing this stuff with Mexi, that was after Mexi because you missed that whole thing. But anyways, back to, I can respect that. Like, it was a joke and I didn't recognize that because at the time I was feeling disappointed in myself. I was feeling, I had relapsed. Like, that's a really shitty feeling, especially when you go such a long time. And I was angry. So yeah, I could recognize that I took it differently than you had intended. And as far as the strikes, I had struck multiple people and I had said it on a lot of my live streams. I was like, look, guys, I don't copyright strike, but if anybody's using my content to knock my sobriety, I'm fucking striking you. And I remember when I struck you.
False strike. You do know. I don't want to interrupt, but you do know that's a false strike. You're admitting that right now. Because they talk about your sobriety is not false copyright. That's not a copyright violation because they talked about your sobriety.
Well, actually, if you're going to get into the depths of it, if you're going to take that to court, and I spoke to my attorney about this because when I had my attorney about AJ, she had been doing way worse than you did to me as far as not just sobriety, but false claims and all sorts of stuff. And I had to spend $5,000 on that attorney, which a lot of people donated. And it was a lot of time working with him. If you were to take something like that to actual court, and if people actually didn't have a life and they decided to do that, both of us, it would show that it's not fair use because the intent behind it. Like fair use would be to be like, it's not just pausing every 30 seconds. It's not just doing commentary. It's also being unbiased. That's part of fair use and having an opinion when it's going directly towards, and I don't mean to get into this whole thing, but I'm just explaining to you from my view, especially from my experience, my attorney and stuff. It goes beyond the copyright into, harassing a vulnerable individual. And you and I may disagree on that because you don't see it like that. It was a joke. But, at that time, like even when I look back at that time and you're talking about it now, I'm like, has this guy watched me in the last couple of years? And then what really upset me was when you took my husband's photos. I don't know if you got it from Facebook, where you got it, and use it as your wallpaper. I was like, really, dude? I don't know if you know what my husband's been through, but he was in prison for working for the cartel and drugs, and he's cleaned up his life. And when we met, no, go ahead.
The picture, the same picture that you posted on your community tab hours before, or?
Nope. It was not the pictures of me and him. You took an actual picture it's a single picture of him. And that's from his Facebook. It's nowhere else.
Robbie, I promise you my thumbnail was a picture of both of y'all hugging.
No, I have the screenshot.
You have the screenshot of it.
Yeah.
I can pull my phone out and grab it right now. Robbie, I know for a fact it was a picture of y'all. Right now, I might have zoomed in during the stream, if that's what you're talking about, to compare him to Lex Luthor from Smallville, which I thought was hilarious. Say where he don't look like Lex Luthor from Smallville.
I never.
You watch. You never watched Smallville?
No.
Right. You never watched Smallville? Not once?
No, not once.
Great.
No, I never really watched it.
Come to you. That's crazy. Go ahead.
No, but I saw the picture. I think it's either on the left or the right, and it's his Facebook profile picture. So I was like, dude, what the fuck? It's one thing, post pictures of us or whatever, but I was like, my husband,
So you're saying you are included in that thumbnail, but then you're saying there's another picture that's a different photo that's included.
Yes.
Say, Rob, come on. If his face is public and you showing his face, why do you care what picture's being used?
Well, I think it was more because I felt like it was, no, I am, of course, but I think it was more like, dude, just keep it on me. We don't have to go to other people that are in my life because you probably don't know anything about my husband at all, but he does not. I mean, I even show him Miss Portland and he's like, oh my God, please turn her off. I don't like the YouTube drama. He does not. You would probably get along with him.
I'm glad you said that, man. And we should keep family members out of it. So why did you mention my mother multiple times?
Well, I've never looked into her or anything, but it was to take a dig. I was like, what's with the bunk beds?
You said I live with my mom. I live in my mom's house. You and Glitter have been saying that for years, which would mean that you did look into it because you do know my address. So you did look into it.
Wait, hold on a minute. Hold on, because you just said you don't live with your mom. So if I looked into it, then I would see that you don't live with her.
according to you, we could get to the bottom of that. Were you just making up all of that just as digs when you've been saying these things? We're trying to figure it out.
Well,
which is okay. I just want you to be honest.
No, rewind. Yes, I am being honest, but rewind.
Right, so
BX, when you did your counterclaim, and you know what, at this point, we're not going to go any further and like docs, but that was not a valid address.
All right, so let me ask you this. What does that have to do with anything? What does it have to do with the copyright? What does that have to do with what I'm asking you now? You keep injecting that and
well, no, I'm getting there.
But that's you admitting that's you admitting that you took from a copyright my personal information and searched it.
Well, because admittedly, I was planning on suing you. Do you know that I sent paperwork to the address that you put on there, and it was returned to me that you didn't live there?
That's fine. That's fine as well. But also, you're stating that you're doing all of this, and you admitted earlier that you overreacted and like some of the stuff might have been even misinterpreted, which meant you went too far. So even for you to be digging into my address, which is not what YouTube sends that to you for, right? Is if you wanted to send me court for copyright, which me talking about your sobriety is not against fair use. But if you use that to look into me overall, I didn't even want to get that deep into it. I just wanted you to admit that you didn't know if I was living with my mom or not. And you just been making that up just to crack jokes because I've been a single male since 16, bro. Okay. So I just wanted to know.
Well, yeah, I mean, of course it was to take digs.
So it was just made
beds in the background and rumors and all that.
There you go.
However,
so it was just made up.
No, hold on. Let's go back to the whole address thing because I know that the miscommunication between you and I is like you're making it sound like in that chat with Will and Critical K and Molly Go Lightly that I was in there being like, you guys, no, hold on. You were like,
who else is in the chat?
I don't think anybody else was in there.
It don't matter. I'm sure that everyone that was in there shared it as well, like the Galera.
But I get your point because it wasn't a regular chat for me. Like I'm in a lot of group chats. But
so you shared my information to this group chat.
No, actually, and I'm not going to say who because this is a person from that community. I was in that chat. Actually, she was in that chat too, and she's only a subscriber. And I met her in person in Denver at the meet and greet. And I went in there after I got the return mail and I was like, okay, you guys, this guy keeps going after me. He's, going after my sobriety, whether I was being a crybaby or not. And I was like, I'm done, dude. He's using a fake address. I'm trying to serve him papers and mail him shit and it's being returned. And so that's when the conversation started. It was not for anything deviant, for doxing at that time purposes or anything like that. But there was one person that was not Critical K, Molly Go Lightly, or the Glare that said, you've got it all wrong. This is his information. And I was like, what? And it was correct. And I've never put that information out there. Never. I put the fake information out there because I knew it would get to you because you knew it was fake.
It didn't get to me. I knew it was fake the whole time. And I stated that multiple times, but I do want to say to clear your name, man. I don't know if you really protecting the hell out of them, but there's only one more person that had to be in that group. I just want you to just keep it real. This is me asking. We could let bygones be bygones if you keep it real.
I have no fucking idea. I really don't.
You don't know who this person was that said, you have the wrong information. Here's the correct information.
Oh, no, I know who that is, but I'm not going to say
what I'm asking.
No, because I can promise you it's not Laura. You probably don't even know this woman. I met her in Denver at the meet and greet.
Is this a content creator? Why are you protecting someone who's doxing people? Why are you protecting them?
But see,
if they're doing something nasty.
No, listen.
Do you think that's not nasty?
I don't, and here's why. Because she didn't give it to me to be like, go attack him. She gave it to me because I was talking about legal stuff.
That's not cool, Robbie. That's not cool ever, bro. Like, and I understand where you come. If you're saying you're talking about legal stuff,
like
I can understand that, but it's still a dirty way to obtain whatever you're trying to obtain, or whatever goal you're trying to get. It's still disgusting, right? Even if you were to say take blame off of yourself, right, and just say, "Well, I was trying to look for legal." The person giving you my information, how the hell did he even get it? And to just offer it up like that, come on, like who the hell was this?
Well, it was a female. It wasn't a male.
And was this a content creator?
Well, the reason that I'm not going to say is because I know that it wasn't for negative purposes. She saw how frustrated, I was, and angry and confused, trying to find out information. Like, dude, that's not even the real address. It's not this. And she was like, here it is. And I have never put that anywhere on the internet, out of my mouth, nothing, none of that information.
With other content creators that all hate me.
Well, nobody
Who was it that shared it, bro? Let's clear it so we can just move on. Who was it that shared it? Let's take the blame off who was it?
I mean, I really feel uncomfortable telling you that because she's a very genuine person, and
imagine how uncomfortable I feel.
Yeah, but what about my family? You have to understand, though, BX is she knew that my intent was not to attack you, so you come for you. It was for legal purposes.
So it's not families you care about, because you didn't care about my family, right? Like how would she have known that? Did you vouch for every single person in that chat beyond yourself?
Yeah, but like, BX, I knew that,
bro. You're not
truth at that point.
That's nasty, bro. You're not just admitting that's just foul. Like no one would want that. And for someone to send it to you and for you to do whatever you want with it, that's not they didn't just send it to you, bro. Like that's makes it even more worse. You want me to understand? You want to protect their family or whatever? Which, mind you, I'm not trying to make an attack, but you didn't give a fuck about. They didn't give a fuck about protecting my family when they gave you my information. But the fuck is that?
No, I get that you're like thinking it's. No, listen.
You protecting the doxer, the person that's passing my information around? You're sitting here protecting them because you want to protect. That sounds. You gotta just imagine being in my position. That sounds insane, Robbie.
No, I get that, but BX. Did I ever do anything actually to your actual real life with that information? Never. I didn't go to the courts with it.
Was that information used to push certain narratives?
Was it what?
Was that information used to push narratives that I was like some kind of fucking super criminal or some shit?
No, it was more like here it is, go to the courthouse. No,
it wasn't.
That was never put out there ever.
My mugshot wasn't shared. Would not the full story being told of how I was attacked? Instead, the glare made it seem like I was like some fucking career criminal.
Well,
like, no, that didn't happen.
First of all, the glare was the one that put your mugshot out. But I mean, that's
where you get the information.
We all have a criminal record. I have one too.
The difference is mine was for self-defense from being attacked by multiple people.
Hey, and you know what? You're allowed to change. That doesn't define you. And
also, I won.
Well, there you go.
So change my ass, nigga. Like I'm always going to defend myself. But all of that to say, I'm trying to move that to the side. But how can I? You're sitting here protecting the person who's passing my information around.
Well, and I want you to know it's because I know this person's very genuine, and she had seen. That I was stressed and I was trying to go. I was really trying to go legal on you.
Yo, listen, as far as I know, I don't know who the fuck is passing it. So, like, how can I talk to anybody, bro? Because now I can't trust nobody. Somebody could just be passing my shit around and you won't even tell me who. So they could come in here and be talking to me, trying to be friendly. Meanwhile, they're passing my information around and nobody wants to tell me because you care about their family but didn't give a fuck about my family. No one in that group chat said, yo, don't do this. Bad idea. What about his family? But you quit to protect theirs, though. Fuck my family, right? What makes their family so put on a pedestal and my family not worth shit? Well, why my family can't be protected?
Here's why.
Here's why? Give me why.
Well, that's what I'm trying to do.
I'm listening.
Because I know that this person's intention, and you may think, BX, that like everyone's out to dox you. And that's why I throw those random fake names out, because I'm like, dude, it's a joke. Like, it's not even fucking real.
Someone passed you my information. That's not a joke. You were in a group where my actual information was passed out. So you're making it seem like I'm some conspiracy guy that I think everyone's out to do, when it was done in a group of content creators that don't like me, and you're refusing to even tell me who.
No, and I totally get your frustration and concern. I get that. But the thing is, this person that had heard my plans, what I was doing, I was like, dude, I'm trying to mail him papers. I'm trying to go to this attorney. I'm trying to do this. And I had mailed it to that address, and it was false. Like, you did not live there. And I was like, I don't know what the fuck to do. I want him to stop. I'm tired of these videos. And I was frustrated. And clearly you saw how I was. And she was like, okay, if you want to serve him papers, here it is. And when I had finally got the information, I was like, maybe I don't want to do this anymore, because it was real at that point.
It wasn't real before they shared my shit.
She was genuine.
In chat.
Yeah, no.
How is she genuine when she has his personal information and she's passing that shit around?
Well, because she knew my intention. And the reason she wasn't giving it to me, listen, BX, if she would have given me your actual information and I would have put that out there, she would have immediately called me out and been like, dude, you're wrong for this. You said you were using it, and I never used it for anything. You've never got answer me this. Have you ever had like a real life contact from me ever? Like, actually, like somebody coming to you, like, oh my God, a relative or your boss or anything like that? No.
Yeah, not that I know of. I can't fucking pinpoint who sent anybody. But I can tell you what has been true. Since my information has been passed around, I have been attacked in real life multiple times of you, that BXBeastBoy motherfucker. I can't say that was you, but I have had someone try to break into my house. Can't say that was tied to you. I have had multiple people call my fucking apartment complex and try to get me kicked out of my apartment. Not that I live with my mom, that I live with my own, or that I pay for on my own. I've had that happen multiple fucking times. And I've also had you come in here and tell me that you acknowledge and are aware of who is spreading this information. And you're just going to protect them, because their family is important. Mine's not.
Well, you know that this was directly to me. Like, I believe she was in the group chat, but she directly sent it to me, like, privately.
So
like,
how'd you ever get my information, bro? Come on, bro.
Dude, first of all, I think you're like mixing up my relationship with the Glare. My relationship with the Glare was him calling in on my panel, changing the fucking subject, having nothing to add to the conversation, and staying 2 hours too long. That was my relationship with the Glare. And when me and Mexi fell out, the night that I relapsed and Mexi cheated on his wife and all that, first of all, that was a year prior to that. I hadn't said shit. And it was like this big explosion that night. And the Glare decided to stick his nose in that too. And I haven't spoke to the Glare since the night that I relapsed, the night that you found me.
That's crazy. You haven't spoken to him since the night that I found you?
No, he's a douchebag.
I do agree, but that don't sound accurate. Either way, we're just gonna move on, because, like, fam, in my personal opinion, I do still think that's filthy. I was willing to let bygones be bygones, move on, but it's like, it's impossible for me to, if you're still gonna protect the person who was sharing my information, right? That's crazy to me, but it's fine. Let's move on.
Right. Well, let me just say this before we move on. I completely respect, you having frustration. And, you don't trust me or anything, so you don't have to take my word. But I will tell you, this is a very genuine person that does not get involved in drama. She's not a creator. She's a very kind person. And she had seen my frustration and been like, look,
so your fans,
I see what you're going through. Here it is. No, she's not a fan. She was a friend. Is a friend.
She's a friend. How'd you meet this friend? In real life?
Yeah, I've met her in person. Mm-hmm.
After she was a fan? So this is a fan that became a friend. Is what you're saying?
No, she wasn't a fan of mine. She was a fan of Molly's.
Okay, so she was in the community. You met her in real life, and she became a friend. And then, okay, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
Either way.
But see, I don't. But here's why I don't want, because she's not even on YouTube anymore. Like I don't want to.
So
get
why?
her
what are you protecting? Like that's
because I'm telling you the truth. Look, BX, listen.
She's not on here. There's no need to protect her so hard. You could have just said it was, and I've been like, all right, cool, let's move on. Especially if she's not even on here.
I get it, but listen, I had no ill intentions, but to just like shut you the fuck up, and I was going legal. Period.
Oh man. Well, all right. If your lawyers told you that you had a case, fam, you don't have to take my word for it because I ain't no lawyer, but you might have some Better Call Saul fucking lawyers that just want that money. They just want to just take your money. You might have been better off saving that. I know you just got married. You could have just saved that.
I would have been better off. Yeah.
Like, I'm telling you, that's just a waste. But either way, whatever. Let's move on.
Well, because it's petty. We could just talk. And that's why, like, when you said, oh, and then you tried to email me, it's like, I will try every outlet. And when you were like, didn't respond, and then I saw you kept making videos, I was like, oh, fuck this asshole. If you don't want to talk it out, then fuck you.
I don't think I responded first because you sent me the request to talk after you sent the strikes. And I already told you where I come from. That's like a threat, blatantly. Like, hey, send to me or else.
That's where you're from, sure, maybe you took it like that, but no, it wasn't like that.
It's why couldn't you hit me up to talk before you sent the strikes? Right?
Why
like
couldn't you hit me up to talk before you made videos about me?
That makes no damn sense.
Now we're getting on.
Nah, hell no.
No,
so wait, so everyone has to. So let me ask you a question then. Everyone you've ever spoken about, you've contacted before you spoke about them?
Yes.
That's not true.
Because yes, it is.
Even famous people, celebrity, you've contacted and had conversations.
I don't
with
fucking contact famous people.
But you've talked about them.
Who?
Have you talked about any celebrity or famous person on your channel in years? We already know the answer is yes.
Like aggressive way? Never.
Nah, that's not what I'm asking. So you keep moving the goalposts. I'm just asking, are you talking about celebrities or other people in general that you have not contacted? The answer is yes. You've talked about celebrities or public figures.
I've never made entire videos about them and been angry and
my first few videos, we just established that I wasn't angry at any time, that maybe you perceived it that way, but I was cracking jokes. And also my first few videos were segments during live streams, right? Where people like, kind of like right now, if I was to clip this isn't me doing a whole video dedicated to you. This is me doing a video you called in. Now I could create a segment and just put it out. Right. That's what I did originally for all the content that I did covering you, was just segments, and your reactions what created the content. The best way you could have got me to not talk about you is to literally never say anything, like not reacting the crazy way that you was doing it. And I would have had nothing to react to. I didn't have any personal grudge against you. It was just whatever is crazy and within the community that I'm asked to talk about. The same way I reacted to Molly. Molly loved the fact that I reacted to her because it boosted her numbers.
See, I don't care about that. So I will agree with you and say I misunderstood. You were just doing your thing, doing commentary, and I took it the wrong way. And I was in, a pretty shitty place back then, anger towards myself and many other people. So I took it very wrong. So I apologize for that.
Okay. Well, I'm not even going to keep dwelling on that. As long as pretty much throughout this conversation, we acknowledged every point that I was making this entire time, right? I wasn't trying to attack you this whole time or anything. So I want to move past me being doxxed or anything. I do think that if you do want to uphold and stand true to you being a better person now and not who you used to be, whenever we have a disagreement, trying to do nasty things like throw my government name out there in current videos is not a way to like show that, hey, we just moved on and it's no issue. Because every time recently, especially when I'm like, I don't feel like talking about him no more. Yo, BX, he just did a stream about you. What the fuck?
I just want to say, like, back to what I was just saying, but it was just the first name, but according to the information I saw, it was completely false. And that's why I've said that repeatedly, because I'm like, dude, on my end, it may be right, but I don't, based on what I saw, I was like, oh. And so that's why I've continued to say that, because I'm like, dude,
why would I get upset if that doesn't make any sense?
I don't know.
I would get upset if you continued to dox me. That's why I would get upset. Not if you just randomly said, if I just was doing a video on you and I was like, you understand Gregory? You would just laugh, right? Would you be mad that I said Gregory? Like, come on, Gregory, save Gregory. No, because it's your name, Gregory.
If I was trying to make people believe that was my name. But no, I get what you're saying.
It sounds like the way that you described it as false. Me thinking everyone's coming after me. You know that the only people that's like kind of deep into conspiracy is you. I'm just taking things for what it is.
No, hey, if that is your actual name, or if you're saying that, even if I don't believe it, I'll take it down.
All I'm saying is that it was just an overall pretty much opinion. If you are changing and you're not who you used to be, that level of toxic, to if someone's saying, yo, I was doxxed previously years ago, for you to try to do it again as a slight, whether it is because you thought it was a false name or not, I still think that's like, it shows lack of growth, right? Or the chance of, right? And honestly, it could not be the case. I'll give you the benefit, right? To say that it could not be the case. It could be just a moment where you just like, yo, I'm in my happy state. BX is trying to fuck it all up, right? Like it could be something that you think that's the case, which is not. I'm not trying to fuck up anything. I congratulated you for damn near shit. When did you get married? When was it? How long has it been?
April Fool's Day.
So see, like, mind you, I didn't do a reaction to your wedding until what?
That's why I was like, you're a little bit late.
Purposely, think about that. Like, what? Because I have no issue with you, like, or quarrel with you. Like, when people came to, yo, you got to see his marriage, I was like, well, whatever, good for him. Ain't nothing wrong with it. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have any hate or disdain for anyone that I talk about. It's just I stand on my principles and my, like, whatever my morals is, and I uphold that no matter what. Right. So, but it's not like I hate you or with your husband. Right? Like, fam, the worst I did with him is compare him to Lex Luthor from Smallville.
Well, right? Now I gotta look him up.
Fam, he looks, I might still have a picture of him on my thing, but they kind of look similar. They look similar. If I gotta find it, it might be on my desktop.
You also have to understand, like, you and I have never had a conversation. And you know what? You may have been mad when I tried to spark it up in email, and then you made a video. You're like, oh, he's trying to reach out to me. And I'm like, bitch, I tried to reach out to you, and I did not ask for a naked picture of you, BX.
Okay, so let's clarify, right? And define. You did, but maybe you meant something differently.
Yeah,
but
there you go.
You were asking for me to send you a picture of me with, what was it, a Speedo on?
I don't know, whatever the hell I was wearing. I think it was like Walmart underwear.
To me, where I come from, that's you asking me to send you a naked picture.
Okay.
Or even if I was even worded as he wanted me to send him a picture of my Speedo on, would that make it even better, like any better in any way? Like, we can make it sound less crazy if I say, yo, say Robbie asked me to send him a picture with me and my Speedo on. Would that sound, no, it'll be the same thing.
Right. No, I get that. And I think you and I have taken digs at each other, whether it be looks, living situation, whatever it is, lifestyle, and probably not actual lifestyle, just what we portrayed each other to have in our actual lives and made fun of that. I've done that to you. So
I think I hit you with some Mohawk jokes. I hit you with some Mohawk jokes for sure. With yours,
no, everyone does.
You say certain things that I wouldn't take offended because it sounded so outlandish. Like when you called me fat recently, and I lost over 130 pounds since the first time we spoke. Right? So it's not even.
No, that's a good point. That's a good point that you said, because we haven't really interacted ever. And back then, the interaction was just seeing things on video or what we had seen of each other. So you and I are both looking back at, like, to me, I know that even people that I do not like or don't like me have the ability to change. And people always say, oh, people don't change. I'm like, dude, everybody does. So I think we're not growing in that sense to the point where we could look at people and try to discover who they are now rather than who they were a couple of years ago or even
I'm willing to do that.
months ago.
I'm 100% willing to do that, especially if I see that there is a clear change. But like I said, like earlier, if you're doing things like saying my government publicly, like you were doing years ago, to me, it doesn't look like there's much of a change, right? If you were to literally wave it off like a fault, like, BX, I ain't gonna pay him no mind. That would have been like, oh, shit, he definitely changed. Good. That to me showed change. Like not even paying my criticism any mind would have been a sign of change for me from you if I had seen that. Right. Like the small things like of that nature. And it's something else that I have to get to because I don't want to just make this about me. I'm not a victim.
No, it's fine.
It's just whenever I hear certain things and I disagree, I like to like just get it out there. So like if you interpret me as crying about being doxxed for a long time, it was me talking about it and correcting some information that even up until now, maybe even your fans will have some clarification. Now I have better understanding now. We got to speak about this. But it was just me like clearing some things. But I have to get this out. Me and my supporters, we have like a really close relationship. I rock with them, right? When it's hard times, when I'm getting canceled, I'll even cut my camera on, even though remember you said I'd never show my face back in the day, right? I show my face all the time now, man. Hey, I'm looking good, man. Lost that weight. But yeah, me and my supporters, we have a really close relationship to where I really rock with them when I've been canceled and I know you might not know of my content, but I'm always the guy that takes a stand against cancel culture when people have like a mob going after them. If people would give me the information, right, and it's like in a respectful way, I'm never going to like try to hide that or go with the crowd and anything. And my supporters, they stuck with me the whole time, no matter how much I get canceled. So when I see the receipts of you kind of threatening my supporters, I have to get clarification on that. You told me you changed as a person, you've grown. It looked like you threatened my supporter based on you knowing their personal information.
Yeah.
That seems like a pattern. That seems like a dangerous, scary pattern, Robbie.
Well, are you talking about this Kara chick?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Kara has been very mouthy, and she always, like, even when I came in the chat and said something, she, puts beer emojis or whatever, and it's a scare tactic, and I'll own it.
So, okay, I did state that. So you were trying to scare them from putting beer emojis? You threatened to have the information?
Well, it's a lot more than the beer emojis. It's them just talking about my personal life, and I know nothing about them. There's no possible way to find it just from because I can't click on their channel. It's a scare tactic to be like, shut the fuck up, bitch.
Okay. So let me ask for clarification. When you say talking about your personal life, is it stuff that is public information that you put out?
No, like even like going into my husband, and there's a lot of different people that come in your chat. You may not realize this, but like AJ has ran my entire background. That's how she found my address. That's how she called my job, which she says I called hers. And that's false.
I know that is. Like,
Chromavault, AJ, aka Audrey, like she's crazy.
I'm gonna be honest with you, man. There's a lot of people within the Chroma community, and I'm not really in any community per se. I'm kind of like a pirate.
Neither am I.
In fact, I think you was definitely in the Chroma.
No,
we gotta call a spade a spade.
BX, you don't watch me because you clearly don't watch me because almost every stream I do, I say I fucking hate that word community because you people rely on money. You rely on all this shit for people to back you. And I don't rely on people to back me. Or I would have shared your fucking stream out and been like, come over here and help me.
Why'd you have Chroma tagged in your channel for years?
I had a lot of different things tagged because I saw that you looked at my topics or tags.
And you changed
when I
them.
started my channel, I had so many different things tagged in there. I had Chris Watts, I had True Crime.
Molly
you could even pull it up now. I think Chroma's probably in there now. Hot Topics is in there. Like, I don't.
So how do you can't say you hate a word?
Sometimes No.
Okay, so you can't say you hate a word or hate a community, but then you're in it.
No, listen, I hate when people use, this is a community. This is our community. No, it's not. You're on here as yourself. And if you rely on other people, then you're going to be disappointed when they don't back you when you're wrong. And my friends, when I've gone, and you don't see this, when I've gone on and ranted and cussed people out and stuff, I have very good friends. Like, I don't know if you know who Lokamai is. And there's so many good people that are like, Robbie, take that video down. You're in the wrong. Just, you're mad. If you want to have a private StreamYard, let's do that. Like, people don't see that kind of stuff. And, I explode. I'm a very, I react very easily. And I'm still learning to do that at the age of 41, not 55.
41? I never knew your actual age, but now that you tell me 41.
Yeah, I'll be 42 in May.
So you do acknowledge that that's an issue. That's something that you should probably work on and not really like put it to or take it to YouTube necessarily every single time if you don't have the emotional maturity or control to not jump to that immediately, right? Because you just said a scare tactic. You just admitted to trying to scare a fan and supporter. And even if they're not a supporter,
but can I be honest? Like, I don't care that I scared her. Like, that was the intent.
Let me finish the statement first. I know that was the intent. I know, but let me...
Would I actually do that? No.
Let me get the full statement out. For you to do that to someone who is a fan and supporter, even if you don't consider them a fan of you or a supporter, they're still watching your content, engaging with your content, which is boosting your algorithm, right?
Oh, I don't care about that, though.
I understand. But for you to... All right, so let's just boil it down to this. Someone wrote words on your damn...
Not just words.
Yo, bro.
Like, this woman... Oh, hold on. I'm going to pause you.
Let's pull it up. I'll pull it up.
This woman, Kara, has been all over my comment section. All over my friends' comments. Like, talking about, oh, he's drunk. Oh, his husband cheated on him. He's cheating on his husband. I'm like, where the fuck? First of all...
That don't sound no worse than anything you said about me. That don't sound no worse than anything you said about me.
But listen, it's not words. So when she came in and she started mentioning, and she's like, does your job know about your drinking issue? That's when I was like, oh, bitch.
I
know who you are, so shut the fuck up. Oh, she does it all the time, BX. Whoever this person is, male or female, they instigate. So finally I was like, bitch, I know who you are. And she finally shut the fuck up.
Let's take some accountability, Robbie. You know your fans not only repeat the stuff that you've said that was worse than that to me, but they also call in to say some of this stuff. Should I threaten them as well?
Both ways, though. I think there's
a lot of wait.
Going both ways.
My question, though, because you cut me off before I can finish, was, should I threaten them now to scare them? Should I try to scare them?
If they're doing evil stuff, yeah. Go ahead.
See, I guess that points out the difference between me and you. I've had your fans call into my stream, argue, say some disrespectful shit to me, call me all types of names, and then be able to call in the next day and us have a peaceful discussion and me say I have no kind of beef or issues. I don't care if someone's a fan of either or, right? Like, I don't take none of this that seriously. And I think that as I guess, adults, and you're older than me, right? Not as like a slight, but I would assume more mature, right? Like, you've had more experience in this earth.
No,
right? I've heard you say that.
My humor.
Okay.
You know.
Well, you've had more experience in this life. So I would think that by that age, if you don't have it, like, and I'm not going to even say 100%, but to a point where you don't react in this way or like just let it just roll off your back, right? You have to admit that's kind of crazy, right? Or that's something that you can work on.
Sure. But now this Kara person, and this is why I've always said to them, I'm like, have you ever like been vulnerable and showed your life? Like, where's your face? And that's why I say stuff like that. Cause I'm like, you got a big mouth, but where are you? Like, you're in
You said that to me too. And I know. Wrong.
And here you are. You look good. It's fine. Okay. But here's my question though, BX. I don't know if you've seen her comments towards me multiple times, but with her comments that she makes, making digs about like, oh, does your job know this? and saying stuff like that, and you see somebody behind an avatar, they could be anybody. Do you really think that she's not going to get responded at, or he, whoever it is? Like, that's an instigating way to talk to somebody.
But we grown, and these are just words, and it's the internet, man.
Well, that's why I'm like, hey, bitch.
I don't.
Yeah, we're grown, but hey, you want to talk about my job? I know who the fuck you are, so shut up. And that shut her up real quick.
You're on the stage, though, right? Like, that's the thing. You're the performer,
and she's not. That's the point.
Like, so that doesn't mean that you're better, but it means that you're upheld to a different standard, though. But you're upheld to a different standard, though. That's what I'm saying. Like, jumping down and fighting the audience every show is crazy.
No, listen though. See, maybe I think you're thinking maybe more in the sense of this being like a stage, and I get that, and because I like to have fun. But we're all on here conversating together. Like, if you're saying that somebody in a chat, their words hold no worth, then you're saying that your chat is shitty. Their words mean nothing. So
you misinterpreting what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not saying that their words mean nothing. I'm saying that we are held to a higher standard. If I am a pro boxer and someone from the audience yells whatever, no matter how disrespectful, I shouldn't jump into the audience and start throwing punches with the audience. I'm a pro boxer, fam. You would look at Mike Tyson like he was crazy.
You're not yelling out at them like you're going to call their manager and like get them in trouble. That's what Kara was doing to me. So I was like, okay, bitch, I know who you are. Shut the fuck up. And she shut up. And I was like, okay, done.
Let's try to keep it respectful. We got Kara here to defend herself.
Okay, good. Go ahead, Kara.
Hi, Robbie. I didn't shut up. Are you crazy? I haven't shut up in years. BX asked me not to comment back to you.
Back to me? You commented to me.
No, as in response.
You said that you made your last comment to let him take it over. And I respect my creator, and I did. But if
do you mean in the chat? Because I can't see the chat I have this StreamYard app.
So say, Robbie, she's speaking on in the comment section. Earlier, you said that after you threatened her, she left you alone. She's stating that she left you alone because I asked her to.
Okay, great. That's great. But Kara, where does your aggression come by when you don't even know me? Like hold on. If we're going to say that chat people are just down below us, why are you so aggressive?
Saying that?
Okay, explain more then. Explain. What do you think of them?
Because to me,
she's on the same level as me. So I'm
saying, all right, so let me break it down to this. Let me break it down to as simple as this. We're gladiators. They're in the audience watching the gladiators fight and compete, whether it's drama, debating, or just performance.
Yeah,
but a gladiator to jump into the crowd and start swinging his weapon at the audience is insane to me. That's what I'm saying. I've used the boxing analogy. I'll use the fucking what's his name analogy as well as for basketball. Ron Artest. I don't think what he did was right, but also the audience was wrong for going too far too. So too far for me, for the audience would be if she actually did any of this stuff.
Oh,
right. That you're accusing, or actually doxed you, or actually did any of this stuff, right? Or maybe even went into a group chat and passed your docs and your personal information to another YouTuber that you were having problems with. To me, that's too far. Kind of like how your fans do. But what she's saying from the audience, like, she's not saying anything worse than what you've said to me. So for you to threaten her sounds a little over the top, bro.
When you instigate somebody, though, like, what do you expect? And Kara, let me ask you, like, why did you have to bring up, like, oh, does your job know about this? Can you explain that?
I can, if I have an opportunity to speak.
Give her the floor.
Well, I wasn't speaking. He was.
Give her the floor. You got this, Kara.
You have repeatedly talked about BX, about where he lives, where he doesn't live. Robbie, have you ever thought that the address you had was wrong because that man might have moved? Have you ever moved?
But he didn't, and I know that.
How do you know that? No, you don't. You do not know that.
Because we looked into it.
and you were wrong. All your information you just admitted was wrong, though, sir.
It's called public record. Like, you don't.
This motherfucker is telling me what I did. That's insane. Okay, I didn't move. All right.
No, I'm not expecting you.
And
You don't have to tell us where you live. But it was a lie.
Many chats about people calling his job.
First of all, I didn't even know he had a job. I didn't know he had a job. First of all, I would never do that. And I did not.
Someone did. And my apology if I mistook it for being you. But you have done so many nasty things to him and said so many hateful things. I was there when you came in on panel, messed up.
No, I wasn't drunk that day, you guys. I was pissed.
She has the floor.
Okay, but I wasn't drunk. I was mad.
Explaining myself.
We're going to take turns, man. We're going to take turns.
Okay.
You came on panel screaming and yelling and cussing him out when he was giving you an opportunity to speak like tonight. Tonight, you're doing like a Christmas miracle, and I'm happy to hear about it. I really am.
Me too.
But if you think you will ever scare me, son, you need to go back to church because that ain't going to happen.
Okay, but Kara, like,
you don't know where I live. And
no, I'm asking you, like, why did you bring up my job, though?
Sit down and have a Bible
study. She told you.
But she brought it up first, is what I'm saying.
No,
so that was a tactic to scare me.
No, it wasn't. Listen, people, I'm gonna hopefully, Kara, tell me if I break this down good enough, right? Because I don't want to misinterpret your words. But pretty much what I said in the beginning is me and my supporters, we ride with each other, right? I said that, right? They've been with me through hard times when I get canceled, where they see all the nastiness. So she's saying she was there the whole time seeing you do all these things that you admitted to today. But you said that for the explanation, you gave me the reason and all this stuff. But she was there for that. So it wasn't her just throwing some stuff your way for no reason. Because like I said, want to go to war, we all go to war. She saw you being disgusting to me. So she sent some heat your way. She didn't do anything. She just sent some words your way.
Okay.
Because you did worse to me.
Okay. No, I get that. But first of all, the thing is about admitting the things. Like, I've explained why I've done things.
That's what I said.
But like, in your perspective, it was from like a very devious perspective.
It could have been just
I never wanted to see you like harmed. I've been angry, just like Kara. I don't even know you.
I'm saying
I don't want to see you harmed. Bro. I wanted to scare you like away from me, like leave me alone.
Emotion, yes, that's what I'm. That's my only argument. It's not you. I'm not saying you tried to harm me because you. I'm not saying you tried to harm me because like you literally wanted to see me harmed and all that. I'm saying that from based off of emotions and you going through whatever you're going through, you've done some actions that today you might disagree with. That's my statement, right? So, and that has been my statement from the beginning. I've always said that, like, every nickname and joke I ever gave was me saying, yo, he's being too sensitive. He's being a baby back bitch. 3 B's is what I've been saying. Like, yo, he's being too soft at jokes. I've been saying this since day one. That's my argument. Not that you are so disgusting and that you're trying to harm. It's that out of emotion, you ain't thinking clearly in the moment. That's why I say, yo, you're at a certain age to it now. Can you admit that was an issue and something you need to work on? And you said, yeah. So that's what I've been saying the whole time.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. Yes.
I'd like to add, Robbie, you give us way too much credit. You go online and millions of people across the world can tune in if they choose. And you take out your personal traumas. You leave yourself open. You become very negative. One minute you hate this person, the next minute you love them, the next minute you have a voodoo doll of them, etc., so forth. You were living by mood swings that were dictated by your addictions. And we didn't know that. We don't understand that. We're not all psychiatrists and therapists. You looked for validation.
She's talking about previously.
She's saying you did a lot of nasty things.
Yeah.
Some of years ago, back in the day.
Kira, I've seen you say that in chats before. And see, this is why I'm glad that we're actually talking, not just being you, BX, but being Kara, somebody who's just been like in a chat before. I've heard you say that I have a voodoo doll of Miss Portland. That is a crocheted doll of Mrs. Portland that one of my subscribers that's very loving crocheted for me and sent to me, because I'm love Miss Portland, no matter if she's mean or nice. She's funny. No, she's very crazy.
No, the doll. It might not be a voodoo doll. It might not be a voodoo doll. That shit do look crazy. I gotta keep it real.
It does. It's funny. It's cute.
Wow.
It fits Miss Portland's character, but
Robbie,
it's not.
That's a great point. You find it funny. You find it adorable, but you're not seeing. You're also sitting out there talking about how you've become this diehard Christian, and you're not seeing how a lot of people might view that as very controversial.
That's another misconception.
Every coin, everywhere you look.
Kara,
if you're not willing to come like you are tonight to talk civilly with us, then why wouldn't we have misunderstandings?
Right.
See, we have misunderstandings because we don't understand each other. We don't listen to each other. I have never said that I'm a diehard Christian. I don't even like to use the word Christian. I tell people all the time, I have a relationship with Christ that I pray, and people still to this day, they say, Robbie ripped up the Bible, he burned it. I did that for a reason, because people were attacking me. Okay, I did it on a live stream.
Wait, hold on, Nick. Oh my God, I got questions before you got to that. Now I got questions for that.
I know.
But the first question was, I thought you was ride or die Christian too. And not because maybe you've said it, but you've done multiple live streams holding the Bible up. You popping it. Like, are you using that for comedic effect, or are you repping Jesus? What's up?
No, you guys, listen, I was raised in a very dysfunctional Christian family that forced it on people. And it was, even when I was little, I was like, this is bullshit. Like, this doesn't feel right. And so when I don't put a label. I have a great relationship with Christ that's dysfunctional on my imperfect behalf. And so when my uncle died, when I was about 13 years old of cancer, I remember I went to the bathroom and I cussed God out and I said, fuck you. And you're not even there, so who cares? And he started to, you have those miracles that happen and little signs and stuff where you're like, okay, that's not real. I'm just going to brush it off. And it's built up since then. And I'm 41 now. And so when I hear people throwing the Bible in my face, like Pastor Mill, he got mad at me because I took the Bible and I ripped it up, and they said, look at him ripping up the Bible. And they completely misinterpreted it. I said, if you are going to sit there and use this as a weapon and not listen to the words that you're following in that book, then it's just paper. And I ripped it. And they took it as me being satanic and stuff. But no, I'm not. Kara, I know you probably don't listen to me, but I go based off of my relationship, talking to God every day, all day. And that's honestly, what it is.
Robbie,
and it's Christ.
I've listened to one of your streams, and unfortunately for you and me, it was a stream where you started off talking about your 48 hours in the motel room.
Oh, well, that was in my drug days. Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I was grossed out.
I'm grossed out by it too.
I couldn't believe somebody would actually go on air and discuss that. I didn't know if you were doing like I don't remember that DJ's name, but a shock jock type thing story.
No, I'm not. I don't do that.
Then I realized you weren't.
No.
And after that, it was like, oh, okay, toxicity, I'm out. And then I started seeing the reactions you were doing against BX. Now, you can check my subscriptions, I'm sure. And you'll find that the only person that I'm subscribed to outside of like baby monkey channels is BX.
Gang, gang.
Tom McDonald. I don't go to other people's streams because I actually have a life. I have children. I have stuff to do. But scare tactics aren't going to work. I hear something in there, and yeah, I'm going to go defend, but I don't know that you're sober. I don't know that you're drunk. I was
you guys do know that I drink, right? Like, that's another thing that I hear from you, BX, and I'm like, did he not listen to the whole sobriety thing was I quit drinking. I almost did it for a year so I could quit the gateway part of it into meth. And I did it, and then I snapped, and then I drank, and then I realized that I could ace it. I could drink once in a while, and it could be okay. And like, now it's okay. And so when I hear that now, I'm like, wow, these people don't know anything. And that's why, Kara, it's good that we can actually talk to each other, because you've just been words. And
I don't think she said nothing crazy at all, like especially the drinking part. Well, if you drink now, that still doesn't change the fact that you still were not drinking during a certain time. And for whatever reason it was, during that time, I initially ran into you for just calling it out that you were drinking. And I think you actually eventually admitted to it that you were drinking at the time. You relapsed a little bit, right? Which is fine. I'm not trying to judge you off of that. But if all we know is from you
rewind, wait, what do you mean by that?
At the time,
I was sober for 2 weeks short of a year. And the night that I was in the hotel room and I snapped on everyone when I met you, that was the first night that yes. And I told people that night I had beers in my hands. I was throwing them across the room.
That's what I'm saying. At the time, though, I don't know if you remember, you denied that shit for like weeks to maybe even a month. You were saying it was an act. Those wasn't real big, all types of bullshit. And so eventually you did come on and go, okay, guys, I slipped. But before that, you were saying, nope, I wasn't drunk. I didn't drink. I didn't have a drink at all.
Can I correct you real quick? I actually have a video from 2 days after that set on private that's still on my channel that I will send you. And
that's 2 days after, bro. The day where you came to my
shit. But you said that I denied it. I went on that stream and I said, you guys, I'm sorry, I was drunk.
So is it impossible?
I never denied that I was drunk. I had beer cans in my hand.
I'm telling you, fam, if I looked back in the archive, fam, like I think in our first conversation, I kept saying that shit like, yo, you was drunk. No, I wasn't. You're lying. I remember the shit. I was like, yo, nigga,
no, you said I was drunk when I came on your panel is what I said.
The only
that I was not drunk.
The only context in any opinion that I ever said.
No, but
either way, that doesn't matter. That doesn't matter.
Hold on. I think you and I are having a misunderstanding because
I'm trying to.
I never said that night that I relapsed, because obviously everybody knows, and me, that was the night that I relapsed. I was drunk.
It was. I know. We all know
I wasn't drunk when I came on your panel because I was not. Just like I told Kara.
Too, bro. This is what the whole shit started. I'm telling you because I had nothing else to talk about when it came to you. The only thing that I spoke about in that one brief clip that you reacted to and got upset about was the fact that you were drunk. I didn't know anything else. People were trying to ask me because I was honest. Do you think he's drunk? And I remember the first time I saw it, I said, yeah, it looked like he had a few drinks, whatever, it was normal. And then the chat explained to me, no, you don't understand. He's supposed to be sober right now. And I was like, all right, that's what about. And then you denied it. And then maybe a few days later, you cleared it and then admitted to it. But maybe it was so long ago, you forgot the whole beef between me and you started because I called you out for being drunk. That was all. That's all I ever said about you.
But what night did you call me out for being drunk?
I don't remember. It was just one clip during a live stream where I was reacting to a bunch of Chroma stuff. And they said, yo, you ever heard her say Robbie? I was like, no, who that? And they sent me a clip and said, tell us, do you think he's drunk? And I reacted to it. I was like, yeah, he looked like he's drunk right now. But whatever. And then they explained to me why that was the issue, who you were, and some of your history. And that's what the whole issue started from.
Well, and that's what I was going to say to Kara. Like, even Kara, if you watched every single one of my live streams, you wouldn't know who I am. Because when I log off, even my husband's like, oh, why are you more quiet than you were when you were live? I'm like, no, because I'm tired. Like, I don't fucking know. But as far as when I had relapsed, and then after that, there was multiple times that I had tried for weeks or days. Oh, sorry. What, Kara?
Excuse me. May I address one thing before you continue? Because I want to hear what you have to say.
Yes.
Come on.
You and BX just had an exchange, and you mentioned that the next day or 2 days later, you put out another video marked private. You'll send it to him. The problem is back then, do you not understand? He's not a member. He couldn't react to a private video because he couldn't see it. So how could you expect him to know what's in it? He doesn't have ESP, Robbie.
That's a good point. But I set a lot of my videos to private like a year ago. So it wasn't like it, and I don't expect him like to watch everything. So even if it was still public at the time, I didn't immediately set it to private, and it's not for members. Like, it's completely private. And it's because
I'm not a creator, so I don't know the difference. I just know
it's fine. It's fine. It's there, but there's a lot of things from even before that happened, like leading up to even me getting sober before I quit, like for almost a year. A lot of things I've set to private just so that it's not there anymore to, in case it pops up in the algorithm and people think it's new. Because BX knows, like, there's some things that people will comment and they're like, oh, I missed your live. I'm like, yeah, you missed it by like 3 years.
Oh my.
That's not new. So no,
That's
like,
true.
no, I get what you're saying.
People reviewing stuff. Yeah. People review things. They'll go through like the timeline if you're trying to see who someone is. Yeah. That happens all the time to everybody, not just public figures in general.
Gotcha.
Yeah. But no, like what I was saying is, I understand you probably thought I never addressed that, but I did. And it was like pretty much immediately after I came to, and I was like, wow, you guys, I realized what I said and I'm sorry. And that video is private now, and I will send it to you if you want. Because ever since then, I've talked for years. I was like, the night that I relapsed, and people bring it up all the time. I'm like, yes, I know. Yes, I know. And I think
for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think what people don't realize
that night, I just think that it was so long ago that you forgot that was the whole issue in the beginning. That's why I remember. On my side, I was like, what the fuck, nigga? If you're saying it's true, what's the problem? Like, what did I do wrong? You're into it now. Then I was right. That's why I was so confused.
No, I get that. But like, I know the things that I said because I've gone to the private videos and watched what I said. And I was like,
do you realize, though, Robbie, that BX and the Fang Gang didn't find you to go after you? That one of your little friends in your community that was a big subscriber and a huge friend to you? And don't worry, I won't mention her name. She's a genuine person. Came into our chat several times to talk crap about you and turn everybody against you. But yet she went to your little getaway.
Well, I'm used to that. I don't care about that.
But that's I don't care about all of this kept evolving. It wasn't just we were like, oh, we're going to be fixated on you.
When you sourcing it, Robbie, you should care, because I've seen multiple of your videos. When you talk about me, you're sourcing what people are sending to you, and you're not realizing that people might be instigating, right? Like my first time I ever talked about you was someone bringing in your shit up, sending me the clip and saying, what do you think? Because they know I'm going to be extremely honest on the spot, I didn't know that. Right? Recently, this happens all the time. Every time that you might see a random clip of me talking about you and you're like, oh, see, he did a dedicated video. These are all edited stream clips, bro. Like everything, even like the most recent event. I didn't just bring you out the blue. we were talking about something else. One of your supporters came in and started going in and brought your name up. And I made one statement like, nah, actually, this is what happened. And they lost their shits. And then I have a character, which is why when you guys say I'm like angry all the time, it's like, okay, you might not watch me, but I would think after years, you would know that I'm a comedian. And I have a whole character called Garfield where I press a button.
I don't know that. I
have a whole character. So if you ever see me going crazy, yo, bitch, blah, 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 that's a character. And I like all my fans know I press a button whenever it's about to come out. He's mad.
You're not giving me a chance.
I can't really control what he says. Right. So like, that's like when a misconception when people be like, oh, all he does, and I've seen you say, he's just going to laugh and talk over you. And you won't, that's only once you poke that bear enough for me to press that button. Before that is like, all right, let's just talk, blah, blah. All right. And then if I feel like no conversation can be obtained, then I'm going to milk whatever entertainment we can get out of this. If the fans like us going back and forth, then we going to crack jokes back and forth. My only issue is that you went too far. We could have yelled at each other for an hour that first time we talked, and I'd have been fine. We could have talked again the next day like it was nothing. It was once you start saying my government on, I'm like, all right, now you're going too far, man. Let's just go back and forth. It's fine. Entertainment. Like when me and Molly go back and forth, Molly used to hit me up. Yo, that was amazing. Yo, press that clip right now. Listen to, like, because she understood the game a different way. Now, y'all might not have the same objectives, right? But still, she understood she still understood the element of me not taking this shit like to personal or so close to heart. Besides my fans, that's the shit I'm diehard about is my supporters. But when it comes to like beef and drama, nah, man, I'm cracking jokes and just analyzing. If you're wrong, I'm gonna say you're wrong. If you're right, even in multiple times, which no one ever sends you these clips, I've defended you multiple times. I'm like, I'm not really fucking with Robbie, but
nobody ever sends positive clips. So
they never do that. But within the whole crime community and everything I've talked about, whenever there's a case when someone else is wrong and you might be right, whether I like you, don't like you, I'm going to say, yeah, I think that he was done wrong. I hate the Gliver for real. But there's times when he was beefing with certain people and past moderators where I'm like, oh yeah, they clout chaser. They're just trying to use his name to get something. And I don't like him. But it don't matter because this is just content to me. I don't take none of this shit serious. I'm from the Bronx. I don't know if you know about the Bronx, but if you Google a picture of it, it looks like Afghanistan, especially in the 90s. So like this shit is just talking to me. This and until people like try to see me with weapons, I don't have no fear. This is just fun, right? I just wish that people wouldn't take it so personal because that's why I keep making the comparison. It's not to say that we as creators are better than subscribers. It's to say that we have a different standard because some people will see what we do and imitate it. There's people that rock with you. So they see you being okay with shouting out governments and doing certain things. Now they're going to do it, right? That's not even saying that you're telling people to. But like, I like to try to have a good influence. Like I know my supporters, they like to debate and they're willing to debate back and forth in the comment section. They match energy because that's something that I'm proud of that I do myself, right? Like I try to like instill enough personal traits and like my own personal honor code and morals, like as far as like just not being a scumbag, right? And that's as far as I can go. I like a good
debate if it's like respectful. And I think that's where a lot of people get mixed up on here because they see people, and I've even seen people and I'm like, oh, they think there's like such a celebrity and they're, above everyone else. And like, I won't even move up to management positions in careers because I don't like being looked at like that. And so when I hear people, I feel like you have like referred to me as being higher than or thinking I'm higher than. And like, I am, and Kara, this goes back to my relationship with Christ. I'm an imperfect human, but if people come for me, I'm going to be like, okay, fuck you, bitch. And my problem is I say words I don't mean. I say things intentionally to hurt your feelings. And, I will take accountability for that.
Stop right there.
A lot of those words is you bigging yourself up.
I don't want you to ever waste your breath or your fingers typing to me because, Robbie, I raised 11 children. There's nothing anyone in this world can say to me to hurt my feelings.
Right.
But I have some things to say. First, I wish you all the happiness in the world with your new husband, and I mean that sincerely.
Thank you.
I appreciate you coming up here and trying to solve this civilly. Sincerely. And I have a proposition for you.
Okay.
I will stay out of your comment section. I will leave you completely alone. I will keep you and your husband in my prayers, which, by the way, I already have. If you will keep us out of your mouth in a derogatory way.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I ain't mad at that. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah. Is that a solution everybody can live with on this panel?
That is a beautiful solution that I love. Yeah.
You know, I get down with the Fang Gang. That's what my loyalty is to my supporters. As far as me just creating content, if I see something, I'm just going to cover it. I just think that Robbie doesn't need to take it so personally. It's not me trying to make a personal attack. And at any time,
and I'm just saying the personal shots.
Yeah.
That's start like, again, or you start doxing again. Yeah, I'm going to be back up in the comments section. I just, that's just the way it is.
It's Fang out here.
Well,
man.
And also, you know, I think just talking to each other, and this is why people, they continue. And this is why I get so angry at people. Because I'm like, are you not working it out and talking to me because you want content? And it confuses me because
that's you taking content too personal, bro. That's you taking it too personal. Like, just because somebody does a video on you does not mean that like they hate you as the end of the world. On Christmas, multiple people have been talking about me. I don't give a fuck. It's fine. If I want to use it for content, I'll talk about it. But other than that, it's part of the game, bro. Like,
no, I completely get that. No, I get that. But with me, it's just like I was raised in a home where communication was not taught to me. So in my early 20s and through my 30s, I had to teach myself communication. And other people, like my friends and stuff, taught me that. And so when I finally got to a point where I'm like, okay, now I know, like if I have an issue, you just say it. And, you know, if the other person, like, okay, it's fine if they don't want to talk about it, but then why do they keep talking about it? And then it's fine if they talk about it and work it out. I'm that type of person now that I've, you know, grown into my 40s since, you know, my childhood. And I think that's why it frustrates me more, because it goes back to remembering the times with my mother who's been on YouTube and instigating and stuff and just not talking it out. And a lot of people, you know, and I get that, BX, they'll say, well, we don't have to talk it out. We're just commenting about you. And I'm like, okay, well, I respect that, but why can't we just talk about it? I guess is more of my frustration.
That's entitlement. Like, you don't have to.
No, I'm not entitled to that, though. That's nothing I deserve. I think it's something both parties deserve. It's not about myself. It's about both people coming to a resolution. So that's definitely a misinterpretation, because I like to work things out, not just for me.
You should watch TV more, man, because there's so many TV shows and sitcoms that have the solution to your problems that you would have.
I'm not a liberal. I don't watch TV.
I'm not a liberal either, but I love TV. In fact, I have a television channel where I call out liberal media. So check it out. I'm roasting the fuck out of liberal media.
Definitely got to check that out.
The sun is rising where I'm at, and my eyes are falling down. So,
well, it was really good talking to you, Kara. Thank you for
you too. Glad to have worked it out. BX, Bang Gang all day.
All day. I appreciate you.
No, I'm kidding.
Bang. But yeah, I do think that when it comes to certain things, I think you take it too personal, bro. Like, if people want to make content and it involves your name, it's only because you're a public figure. And if you do something that draws attention, people are going to speak about it. Now, because you might not see things as like the media game, you might not see it as a positive, but I would think as such. I know for a fact you have gained fans from me talking about you. Right. And maybe vice versa, whether you want to admit it or not. I've seen people say it in your chat.
Sure.
I actually found you from this BXBeastBoy being such an asshole. I've seen people say this shit in your chat, in your comment section. It's part of the game, right? See, like there you go. That's one of many, right? But it is not me saying all. Of course, you've made your own name. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it benefits you, even though that's not your goal, right? And if you didn't take it personally, I think the only thing that made anything negative is your reactions to it, bro. Like, I don't think all the things that anyone's ever called you out on beyond like doxing or anything that could be something beyond real, like that goes real life, but just like you giving your opinion or doing whatever you do on your channel, I don't think anyone would even speak about it more than once if you didn't react to it in such a way. It turns into just them becoming like, say, Robbie reaction channels, because you will react to every single comment, even if the video's not about you. The first up would last week ago?
Not in the last year though, BX. Because my husband helps me with that. He's like, come on. And I'm like, and I would have if it wasn't for him. And I'm like, oh yeah, you're right. I really don't. Like, I don't. So and recently I was like, wait a minute, what the fuck is this BX doing? And, I got triggered.
And mind you, that wasn't a video on you. That was someone bringing you up during a live stream and me and them disagreeing about it. And mind you, me and them I'm not going to say we're on like best of buds terms, but they've come into my live stream multiple times after the fact and had great conversations. Right. I'm not holding no grudge about nothing. They disagreed. Me and them exchanged words. I let the character out, pressed the button, just like I just did now, did the whole back and forth. And it was just like, all right, back and forth. Right. Like, it's just like, ain't nothing personal. Yeah. As long as we both don't go past any boundaries, I'm never going to hold it against anyone. Right. It's just as long as we don't like try to like endanger my family. Right. Or anything of that nature.
And see, that's, I have to go to bed pretty soon, but like, that's why it's good that we can actually have a conversation. And I really don't know who started yelling first the last time. Maybe it was me.
It was you.
Maybe it was you. Okay, sure. Whatever. But it's the fact that even with Kara coming up here and like showing me a voice instead of like words, so I could hear the tone in her voice and I can see her frustration, but actually hear it. That is so much better. And I didn't start my channel on like, well, let's see how many subscribers I could get. I actually started out on trying to make peace with fucking assholes, like Molly, which I love, Makeup Mobster, who I love, and Laura, who I love. That was the original community that I came into. And I was like, you guys are fucking stupid. Like, stop fighting. And then it just went downhill from there. And here we are.
I can understand that. I really just think it just boils down to you just overreacting some years ago and just getting into your feelings about some stuff that where once you think about it after the fact, it's not really that serious.
Yeah.
And you take accountability on some of the actions that you've done while you was in these states, right? It's just that you got to just remember those not as whenever someone brings it up as them trying to down you, but maybe even a reminder that you're not that person and to never be that person again. Right. Like I don't want to be the person I used to be before YouTube, right? Like at all, because we all grow as people for sure. Right. And I wasn't a complete scumbag, but I just feel like I've grown as a person, especially with my stoic stuff. And I just think that is a misinterpretation whenever I bring my character out and crack jokes because people are not where I'm from. And I've always said that. And I think that you've acknowledged that. I was like, yo, if Robbie never approached me nasty, we have so many things in common that I think that we probably would have gotten along. Right. And I might have been able to help you with the emotional aspect of like being able to handle that better. Right. It was just your approach was so off. But we do have mad stuff in common. It's a lot of similar taste in pop music. Like when you said that I listen to ghetto music, I was like, is NSYNC ghetto? Because that's what I have on heavy rotation.
But yeah, I didn't say you listen to it. I was like taking a jab at your music, but I did listen to it. And I was like dancing. No, I was taking a jab at your, I didn't even know what music you listened to. And then you said NSYNC. I was like, wait, he listens to NSYNC?
Oh, that's clear. Like when you listen, I guess, to my music, because I do two different things, it sounds like really like bipolar. Where I have like aggressive, like hood type of rap, and then I have like really pop singing. You complimented my pop stuff. That's what I was trying to say. Like I have different sides of where I have the stuff that I guess you can perceive as more ghetto stuff, but then I have like the real music that I love doing when I sing and I do pop stuff. That's like songs I wish that I could have gave to NSYNC or BTS. I even remixed "Girlfriend," which is my favorite NSYNC song.
Ooh, that's a good one. Yeah,
that's my shit. But yeah, I think they're like overall, it's not that big of a difference.
Oh, sorry. I think just the whole recent thing was, I think I have such protection over like what I went through. And so when I guess maybe I can recognize that's something I have to work through now, is when I hear people talking about that, you know, weak person that I was, that was so confrontational all the time and stuff. Like I don't have to protect that. I just have to walk the walk rather than like talk the talk, because I could sit here all day and be like, that's who I was, motherfucker, and cuss you out. You'll be like, bitch, you're the same bitch.
Right, exactly.
Instead of just being like, okay, whatever, and just letting it go. So I get that.
You got to actually show me, especially with somebody like me that I'm blatantly just media. I'm blatantly telling people this isn't a personal attack on no one. That I am media. So because you're a public figure, if there's anything that I'm getting wrong, or if you like, oh, damn, he misinterpreting that. Damn, because most of my content's live, you can literally just like right now, yo, I want to talk. Let's make some corrections right now. And I'll allow you to do that. I do that pretty much every stream. But most people, they see my highlights and my clips and don't think that. So they just think I'm like out to smear them. And no, come pull up. I'm down with the smoke. I talk to anybody. Just pull up and let's be able to be respectful. That's why I wanted to make sure we had the rules clear so we could both be able to take turns and hear each other out. And I think we did find a solution. I do still disagree with the whole you protecting the person that gave you that information that might be true or might not be true. But either way, I think there's more understanding, that I at least can say that you know now that I'm not trying to personally attack you or trying to cause you harm, and have nothing but best wishes for you and your husband.
Right. And neither am I. And I can reach out to her and see if, you know, she even wants to go there. Because we don't talk
wants
that
to
often.
take accountability, that would be nice. If she wants to just like take accountability and sweep it on the rug, that would be probably the best thing. But that's on her, right? And like you said, she's not on here, so whatever.
No, I get that, but I truly do know, and I wish I could say who it is, because if you know her, which you might, maybe she's not like a creator, but she really is a very genuine, very good person. And she was looking out for my best interest. And when I received that information, I didn't go to the courts. I didn't put it online. I stared at it and I was like, oh, there it is. Now I'm going to fucking play with them about this fake information. And I was an asshole for that.
I can understand that. And from my perspective, a lot of my people, or people that know me, seen the back and forth between us, and they tried to help in their own way. But because I'm from the Bronx, I told them to 86 that shit. And this is just YouTube. And that no one should ever take anything that fucking deserve it. But that's the difference with me and you. Like, I have my people that care about me, and I told them it's not that damn serious. And your people, they did whatever. But if you want to talk to them and see if they want to actually have a conversation and at least like fess up and then move on, that's on them. And if not, if they want to just move on regardless because they're not on here, that's on them as well. I'm not going to even fucking dwell on it, but at least now we know fully, right? The full extent that we got to have the conversation is out there, right? And that's another reason why I like to have my conversations public, right? Because the audience is involved in a lot of this. They've seen a lot of it. So I want there to be no questions, right? I don't want people to say, oh, he's lying. No, they heard me and you both talk. It's on audio. No one can make nothing up. Here, people can just have it, right? But that's because we both public figures. And I think the problem is too is that I see myself more as a public figure than you do, right? You you see yourself as you just putting yourself out there, and because you've done that, you build a following, and you like not realizing you a public figure now. Like they're just different. You not just say Robbie, you say Robbie.
See, that's why you would get along with my husband, because like one night we're having he never argues and I kind of just debate and he's like, whatever, because he's very chill. And I was like, we don't need to put everything out there. And he's like, you put everything on your YouTube. What are you talking about? And I was like, good point.
Yeah.
You're right.
I've been saying that the entire time. And then with me, if I get offended because somebody's talking about something in my personal life, it's because I don't ever talk about it, right? And I've been an extremely independent guy my whole life. Like, only reason why people know of my mom is because I always talk about how I check on her and make sure she's good and go to visit. Because I lost my grandmother like some years ago, and that made me like,
sorry.
Really, it's all good. It taught me a valuable lesson to hold on to the people that I have. And my mom's so amazing, and my brothers. So I try to make sure I contact them and visit them. And I live by myself, and I'm always complaining like how they don't never visit me no more. Mama, if you listen to this, why y'all don't visit me no more? I always gotta go over there. It's a long little distance, but I still make the trip. But yeah, like if I get offended because somebody brings up something personal, it's because I don't never really talk about my personal life on here unless it's just positive things, right? Like if someone tries to,
and I'm sorry for saying anything like about that, because that was just strictly to be like, you know what, fuck you, and just say whatever. And I don't remember who it was, but they somebody said like the Cheeto thing was Granny's watching.
They said that was racial.
I was like, what?
Nah,
okay, first
Cheetos,
of all, she doesn't know where I was raised at, first of all, and that's all I'm going to say, because I know everybody that says I'm not racist, or I'm not homophobic, I have a gay cousin. It's like, that doesn't mean shit, dumbass. I'm not even going to say where I was raised. That is bullshit. I don't do that. I've never done that online or anywhere else. I go based off my experience, even with my own mother. And I can call my mother the worst names right now, and I don't, just simply because she's still my mother, but she's probably not the greatest person, but I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm just going to strictly like give little digs here and there. I'm not.
I think that
I don't even have to defend that.
Yeah, not at all. I don't think you're racist at all. I think what it is it's basic shit like the gamer lobby stuff. Like when you get frustrated or you get emotional, you're going to say things that you think might hurt somebody, and it might be perceived as either ignorant, or someone might perceive it as prejudice or racist. I know personally that it's not based off
like the mean digs.
It's just to try to get me upset or to get a rise out of me, right? So when you say certain things, I'm not really taking it as that. As far as the Cheeto line, I knew that was like more of a fat thing.
Yes,
as far
I'm sorry.
No, you don't have to apologize. Like, I'm okay with being roasted. I used to do a birthday roast every year on my channel where I allow people to call in and roast me like a celebrity roast. So I'm okay with that. Like, I'm totally down with it. In fact, I encourage it, right? As long as we both just don't go too far and try to get real life with it. But as far as that definitely wasn't a black thing. I think that she misinterpreted it for like the hot Cheeto thing, which is on Black Twitter. It's kind of like a thing.
Okay, first of all, like, no, because the only hot Cheeto thing I've ever seen is B-Love. Do you know who that is? I love the crab leg mukbangs. B-Love. She has and she has like long nails, and she's black.
She and
she does like the hot Cheeto dip crab legs. I'm like, hell yeah, that's the only thing I could think of. I'm like, how is that a bad thing? Like, crab legs.
Nah, she's doing that to target black audience though. When she does that.
Oh, okay.
100%. Yeah, because like within certain algorithms, like it's a meme for black people to say how much they love hot Cheetos. Like you probably see memes of a black person sitting on a bed eating a big ass bag that's like the size of their body of hot Cheetos, or you heard of people getting sick because they ate too many hot Cheetos. And
well, thank God I didn't say hot Cheetos. Jesus.
I wouldn't have taken offensive either way. Like I was more offended at the music thing. I'm like, damn, NSYNC ain't ghetto. Man,
no, they're not. I agree.
JT? Man, I'm
NSYNC over Backstreet Boys for sure.
Oh, facts. Even though Backstreet Boys has some good records, I just was more of a fan of NSYNC. Their blend of like hip hop was
more
so
soul music.
100%, because they had Full Force writing for them.
Yeah, and NSYNC is more pop, which I like both. So
they started blending towards the later years when they did a lot of work with Pharrell, and I think Timbaland might have done some stuff with them.
Yeah, and then JT went solo, and I was like, damn.
Solo album's crazy. I liked when JC went solo too as well. Blow Me Up With Your Love was dope.
Oh, that was like the only single, right?
No, he tried like a second one and had like a whole contest on MTV where they did a dance competition with Wade Robson. And the winner got to be the choreographer for his second video. It was like a Spanish influence, Ricky Martin type of thing. It was trash. It wasn't that good.
Are you sure you're like, how old are you? I'm 41. So you're 2000s, early 2000s pop music.
early
R&B, hip
2000s,
hop.
pop and R&B, early 2000s, and maybe some rock too as well. That's my shit. Like I'm
like Jay-Z, Destiny's Child, Brandy, Maya, you know.
Brandy and Maya, fire.
Yep, Domino, but that was like 90s.
Yeah, that's around the same era. Like I could get into that, like the En Vogue or even some Tony Braxton. Right.
Yes.
I remade Six Piece None the Richer, the Kiss Me song. That was the theme song for She's All That. I redid that whole song.
Well, I haven't heard that. See, that's the part of communication where we're not trashing each other. We could actually, you know, look in and
you went to my music channel. What song was that you liked? Was it? It was.
I actually liked. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I like the You Nasty Fan.
That's funny.
That's the only one that sticks out because I've heard it so much. Yeah.
Well, that's a funny song, guys. That's going to be on Apple and like Spotify soon.
I'll download the shit. But it was good talking to you. I wouldn't have stayed up this late if it wasn't for like a actual conversation, and I appreciate it.
Hey, it's all good, man. As long as you know that no one's like trying to like do personal attacks to you. If we do have like commentaries because it was brought up during a stream, I'm just giving my opinion, but it's not no personal like attacks, even still to this moment.
I'm not like a paranoid tweaker. I just I think, I don't know, I'm a zodiac person. I'm a Gemini. I would like to communicate with people, and when they don't, I get really offended. And so, you know, that's something I need to work on, to where like if people don't want to talk about it and they just keep going, I need to learn to just like be like, okay, there's no communication there. Just let them go. And I don't. I'm like, fuck you. So
yeah, because that could be perceived wrong. That's why I kept saying, like, if we would have switched like genders and stuff like that and make it like a situation where I was a woman, right? Just switching my gender. Fam, people would take that and run with it. So I'm like, see, like it's different, I guess, when it's just a man being the receiver, even if it's not that serious. Still, just a fact. It could just be like that. It's crazy to me. But either way, man, glad we talked about it.
Yeah, thank you. I really do appreciate that, BX. And I got your privacy complaint. I'm going to take it down. And not because I was like, I ain't taking that shit down, but I'm going right now when I get off, and I'm taking it down. And
you sent me one. What was it? You sent me one for your husband's picture.
It was like one of the pictures. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The one that you posted on your community tab?
No, it's like a Facebook profile picture of his that I was like, where the fuck did this come from?
Either way,
it's like
you still
two pictures in one. But no, you know what? Either way, BX, it's fine. I don't care. I'm going to, on my end, just take it down, move on. We're good.
I ain't going to talk about your husband.
Pull up any videos from the... He's so cool. Like he's fucking awesome. Every time I talk, like I never talk about YouTube to him, because if he's like, what's wrong? I could see something in your face. And I say, nothing. Because I know if I say, okay, this person on YouTube, and he's like, okay, that's dumb. That's a person on the fucking internet. And he's so logical and I'm so not. You would get along with him.
And you're picking up stuff from him, right? See, that's dope. That's mad dope. Y'all get to learn from each other. You're probably showing him some stuff. He's showing you some stuff. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's such like his mom died when he was in prison for 6 years, and he didn't get the opportunity to say goodbye. And like, he has such like a drive for life that when I get demotivated, I'm like, damn, dude, I haven't been through that. So, motivates me.
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I see you was talking about how much work I put in over here of me trying. You was like, hey, BXBeastBoy trying over there.
Well, you know what?
Yeah, I do a lot of stuff.
I'm sorry for that. Trying is the only way to get somewhere. So
hey, ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Like, I think that because you don't watch me that much, like you didn't realize you was looking at like my 7th and like 6th channel. I got so many channels.
I just click, I see it, I'm like, what the fuck is this? And then I click, and then I get triggered, and then I run my mouth. So I'm sorry.
It's all good, man. Listen, if you do want to just have fun and run your mouth, I'm never upset about that. It's perfectly fine, man. Crack jokes. Right. I don't have like soft skin or anything. I'm from the Bronx, man. Like the way I talk is just that's the way we talk. And some people might see me as like with a rough exterior and misinterpret me like as being aggressive, but that's not the case. So I think that, or at least I thought that they would be able to tell from me laughing hysterically. But it seems like that only makes people even more upset.
Your laugh that's like, remember you did it, and I laughed over you on the stream. I was like,
hey man, like what's crazy is like when I first started YouTube, for like maybe a week or so, I did feel insecure about my laugh. That's my real laugh. People just
I was only mad because I thought you were doing it over me, and I was like, "Fuck you!"
Nah, that's my genuine laugh. So I can't control it. That's just me. You should hear my family. We all have variations of that Joker laugh. But a lot of people think I'm trying to antagonize them and make fun of them. That's just me just enjoying the convo, bro. It's me just laughing, and sometimes I get into my mode where I think it's bad funny, and I'm like literally cracking up. But it's not me trying to antagonize people. And I tell that I guess after the fact, people get so frustrated, right? From me just.
I know. I did. I was like, what the fuck?
Well, no, I was just having a good time. It was, that's all it was.
Well, it's because you weren't taking it as seriously as I was. So I was a little bit too triggered. So now that we've spoke, I understand you more. I appreciate you for, having a conversation, because I really thought when I came up that we were just going to like try to get a word in and keep interrupting. So I really do appreciate it.
No problem at all. And if any time you would like to call in and say your piece, feel free, right? If I'm talking about you and you want to like clarify something, I don't mind you calling in to clarify something.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you.
You have a good day.
Yeah, you too. I'm going to get in it's like 4:27 a.m. I think, what time was it when I got on here? Yeah. Anyways, have a good night. Thank you. And I'll let you finish.
No problem.
Okay.
No problem at all. Thanks for calling in.
Thank you.
All right. Let me put this up and I'm going to read some comments. Guys, let me see what you guys are saying. I was reading a lot of the comments during the conversation, but I'm going to read more of what you guys are saying. It seems like majority of the chat, if not all the chat, was on point. Right? Hey, if you don't get offended at me pulling up some of these comments and reading some, but I want to hear what the chat has to say. Well, that was actually decent. I think it was cordial. I think a lot of things got discussed. He admitted some things too as well. Some things he didn't let it be known. I would love to have known who the fuck was passing my information to him. Right, but I know it got passed around in that group. And from that, a lot of stuff got like misinterpreted and spread around. But I would like to know who was that person and why was they even in a group chat with a bunch of content creators. That's kind of weird to me. But whatever. Hey, Harley, how you doing? Let me see what you guys are saying. He said, well, Robbie is like a teenager, almost legal until he says the private info plug lady was wrong. Yeah, that was crazy. That's insane. See, and a lot of people make it seem like I'm like Mr. Conspiracy guy and I'm crazy and I just be imagining shit. But a lot of shit gets confirmed years later, bro. A lot of things get confirmed. You know what I mean? But Molly Golightly already told me a lot of stuff. He confirmed some stuff, right? And the only missing puzzle piece is who's that person that he's saying that was spreading the info as well. But whatever. You know what I mean? Respectful conversation between two opposing adults on YouTube. Be right back having a stroke. That's funny. Yo, there's nobody like that I have an issue with that I'm not willing to speak to certain extents, right? I think with Robbie, he's done something that was like foul to me. But if he did other things like a certain form of slander, like his friend, right? Like he has a buddy that her name came up during a conversation, and apparently I brought them together, which is whatever. That's cool. But he has a friend that I think that me and them will probably never be able to have a conversation. And I always say, right, I don't have any issue with talking with somebody as long as accountability is obtained. If someone holds themselves accountable, right, or they're coming to have a conversation where they will take accountability, I don't have an issue with having a conversation. So say Robbie has a friend that I refuse to talk to, squash anything with until they take accountability. And they did something which was disgusting. It was beyond doxing. It was them putting out nasty, slanderous, disgusting, horrible rumors. It's just because I didn't want to associate with them, right? And until they make those corrections, I'm talking about full on accountability. I lied. I'm spreading misinformation because I was wrong. I deleted a bunch of videos and act like I never did it. Yada yada yada. Then me and them will probably be able to have the same conversation. But until then, right, like it's certain boundaries that I'm just like, yo, if you can't take full accountability, why would I have a conversation with you, right? But when it comes say Robbie, if he's willing to have a conversation and fully talk about things, right, and take accountability, sure, you can come on and have a conversation. Now we know, right? No one has to go back and forth about BXBeastBoy's docs or my name being passed around, my government, my private information, right? All of that got addressed right now. So if anyone had any question about that, you have permission to clip my video of me and Save Robbie talking. That's why I like to have public conversations, and you can use it, and anyone is allowed to have whatever opinion they want to have based on the conversation between me and Save Robbie when it comes to that. Right? That's why I like to have public conversations. Crystal, did we talk about anything other? Yes. We started off talking about, which we're gonna get back to. We were reacting to I guess a reaction of my video involving Hills in the Air and Laura from Life Perplex. We're gonna get back to that. I'm just looking at you guys' comments to make sure I didn't miss anything. No, I'll rock with y'all. I can't read cursive. That's funny. New Kids on the Block. Never mind. I'll tell you about it in cursive. New Kids on the Block had a bunch of hits. I was about to sing the whole song, but I don't want to get into it.